Good evening. Hello.
You have to be louder and more assertive.
I know. Good evening.
We're gonna do the pledge now.
Well,
Good
I
start.
call this meeting to order, and now we'll do the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, let the roll reflect that all members are present. Was this meeting properly notified?
Yes, it was. As a reminder, it's being recorded.
Welcome to all of our visitors. We have a full house tonight. Any public comment?
No.
Okay. So we'll move on to the highlight on youth. First is the unified ski team, special education teachers Haley Bunk and Rachel Hansen.
Hey, and you want everybody to come?
Welcome.
Come
Yes.
celebrate?
Absolutely.
We got it already.
And Jill.
And Jill Giraffe, is she here too? She coming up?
Yeah.
All right, Jill.
She's
All right.
Forward, back.
Coming, Jones?
And then who do we have for kids here?
Hey, can I have them all say their names first?
Yeah.
Okay, who are you?
Donna. Donna.
You're gonna get to point out the alphabet, okay? First, you're just gonna say your names. Who are you? Catherine Lane.
Welcome.
Colin Durant.
Welcome.
Trevor Paulson.
Thanks for coming.
Tia Swanson.
Thank you.
You. Jill Raps. Haley Bond. Rachel Hansen. Yeah, well, this is just a small part of our mountain movers team, but I don't know if you usually clap at these things, but I think they can work. Yeah. Do I need to speak into this thing?
So people can hear us at home.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, we'll just be kind of clicking through the pictures here. Rachel's gonna do that for us to show just some of the highlights of the big day. We had about, I don't know, 1,500 pictures to choose from, so we just picked a few of the best and slapped them up there. That you'll be able to just see the pure joy, happiness, hard work, smiles, and some medals up there. For those of you who don't know, I guess I don't know what you do and don't know about our team, but we decided this year to start our very own first unified ski team. We got one more coming in. When he gets here, I'll have him say his name too. Rachel and I have been taking our classes to Trollhagen ski program for the last 7, 8 years. And they've done amazing things. And last year I said, I don't know why we don't just have our own team. And they said, sure, let's do it. So in collaboration with them, we were able to form our first ski team, the Mountain Movers, and we said, what the heck, let's make it unified while we're at it. And each student was able to have a peer skiing with them. So students with and without disabilities skiing together. And I'm gonna let this little guy come in and tell us who he is. And he's got something
Spread your shoulders.
cool. Yeah. He's just gonna tell him who he is. This is Nate. In his very best witch voice. Yeah. So we were able to start the team and we practiced a handful of times up at Trollhagen together and with our partners coming with us. And we have everybody skiing in a way that is appropriate for them to build them to be the most independent and safe at the same time, working towards full independence in the years to come. So we had some students using tethers. We had some students using a pole, you can see in some of the pictures. And we had Mr. Nate here in the bi-ski with somebody skiing behind him as he learns to steer himself and stop himself. And so everybody was able to be their most independent, and we just couldn't have been more proud of everybody's hard work that they put into it. The Trollhagen team was absolutely amazing. So if you ever get up to Trollhagen, please make sure you take a minute to reach out to the staff there. They were amazing in donating their time, their efforts, their knowledge. They traveled out to Colorado earlier in the year to pick up some more tools to help us out. And we couldn't be more grateful because we couldn't have done it without them. So, and I couldn't be more thankful for my administrators back here who always tell me, okay, Haley, when I say, so we've got something we want to do, and they say, okay, Haley, and I call Rachel and I say, Rachel, I got this thing I want to do, and she says, okay, let's do it. Then I called Jill and say, I broke my 2 limbs. And she said, okay, let's do it. So we feel really grateful. And then we got all these kids and they say, yeah, let's do a bunk. And I got all these families who say, yeah, we're all in. I trust you. And I couldn't ask for more as a teacher. So that's the short of our little team here. And I'm going to let the kids share their favorite parts with you guys. And then if you have questions or Jill or Rachel have anything to add, we sure can. Okay, Jones, you want to go first? Tell me what's your favorite part of school.
I love on the chair and down on the hill with my friend Silas.
Yeah, right. Okay, Catherine, you ready?
I'm right here. Don't do my best. I have Girl Scouts. A nice game and Troll Hocken, a fair bite, a chillin', and stay out. Over there.
Yeah. The chairlift with a friend Danielle who couldn't be here today. And what did you get?
Golden medals for her achievements.
For your achievement. Yeah. Nice job, Catherine.
My favorite part was probably getting to do this and ski with my partner Pierre.
My favorite part was probably seeing my partner Aiden grow throughout all the ski trips and also just the relationships that we made throughout all the ski times.
My favorite part was getting to spend time with the kids and getting like the whole experience as a whole was really fun.
I like being on the ski team and winning a gold medal with my partner.
All right, Rachel, Jill, what I missed?
I would say my favorite part, which I was not like fully prepared for, although I knew it was going to be awesome, was getting to go skiing each time with the kids, but then the other opportunities to see their bonds grow, like after one of our practices at Troy, we went to Culver's afterwards, and just to see all the kids, all these guys and all the ones who aren't here intermixed together, 4 tables pushed together, and just having a great time. Just being friends, being peers, laughing about silly stuff like kids do, and watching a lot of community members at Culver's just watch in, I don't know what the word is, admiration or awe or just like, wow, and people coming up to us and we got school jackets, like what's this all about? And being able to educate, each time we went, being able to educate other people on what this is and what this means and being able to tie it to our school district is pretty awesome.
I think one thing that I think was really cool too is the fact that, I mean, Haley didn't necessarily say this yet, but we are the first unified team in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So that's huge. Like the first unified ski team it's coming from the tiny town of Hammond. And so it's amazing. So the work that you put in is phenomenal.
Everybody.
But yeah, I think also one of my favorite parts is how little they needed us. Like these partners and the athletes just worked so hard together with their instructors that half the time when we were at Trollhagen and on the ski hill too, when we were at Granite Peak, they didn't need us. They had each other and their partners were right there making sure that they had everything that they needed, that I felt like I didn't have a job. I just got to play. And so I'd be bumming the ski hill with them and just having fun. So it was just a really joyful moment. So yeah. Thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you.
And do you guys have any questions about anything?
How many trips on the year did you do or plan to do?
Yeah, we think it was like about 7. I don't really know. We have all blurs together. I think it was 7. We had some snow times and
We went during the school day just a couple times, but then the middle school has a ski club, like middle school ski club. And each
We went
ski
those
club, there's actually one tomorrow night, we won't go to that one, but we went to all the ski clubs in you know,
Yep.
with that club too. And then school time, I think it was 7 times.
Yeah, it was kind of a nice balance, and something we didn't say either is not just, I guess, the impact it made on this group of kids and the kids listed that weren't here, but like ski club nights, you know, every Friday night, and we've got 80 kids from the middle school there, and they're like, oh my gosh, this is one guy's son made up there, he's cruising, and I saw Catherine, she can really nail those turns, you know, it was just like a whole new world for our students to realize that they can do anything, right? And that they have a place everywhere where they can be successful and shine. Because I think right off the bat, you wouldn't typically think skiing is a sport that anyone and everyone can do, but it sure is. And we didn't mention it either, but we've gotten lots of calls from around the state, ski hills that want to start programs, and other schools that want to start programs. So that's been really fun to be able to share, and the excitement is other people want to take this on. So it's a big deal. You should just be so proud of everybody that's been a part of it. So I don't know, anything else, guys?
So Carter, how did you guys get the nicknames and why are you Snow Snake?
These teachers, they asked us just what names do we want us and our partners to be, and we figured out names that were funny and also cool at the same time.
I think next year we'll pick nicknames for the coaches and teachers.
Kids picked the mountain movers though. That was all the kids. They got on one of our bus trips up. I said, guys, we gotta come up with a name. We gotta make our jackets. And they came up with mountain movers all on their own. And I thought it couldn't be more perfect. So, yeah. Anything else, guys? Am I forgetting? Catherine, what did I forget?
Attention. Thank you, Miss Hassan and Miss Paul. Thank you, Mommy Michelle Lane. Goodbye for now. I want Girl Scouts and Girl Scout cookies. I want to walk on with their cheerleading and pick makeup. I love cheerleading and high school basketball. Enjoy.
All right.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Party's over now, I think.
It's a hard act to follow.
That podium is adjustable. There's a little switch on the side.
Saying we're a little taller than.
Yeah.
You're taller than Jill.
All right. My name is John Tackman. I teach high school math and phys. For 15 plus years, we've done heart surgeries. We used to always do pigs. And I would say about 10 years ago, we slowly started to gather donations from the community. And it wasn't until a couple of years that one of the technical people kind of showed me what happened to like our Facebook posts when we asked for donations from the community. And I was shocked on how many times it was shared and how many people saw it. And the overflow that we started to get when we started to do our heart dissections was outrageous. Anybody in here ever donated hearts?
We did.
The ones that actually.
I shoot my deer through the heart.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. That's what they all claim, and then we don't get the hearts. But what we found is it's awesome because we get like 50 to 60 plus deer hearts donated to us. And I think it's every week from like November to January, the front office lady send me an email of like, hey, you have hearts to come pick up.
Come get them now.
And then I'll forget, and then they'll remind me later. But what we do with them, I want to kind of share with what we do with the hearts, since we have so many people that do donate, and kind of share with the community where those hearts go and how they're used within our Nat and Phys classroom. So I have a couple students that are going to share a couple different slides. What you see up there is basically the ones that are stored in my freezer in the basement for multiple months until my wife tells me they have to leave. And then like the setup of some of the dissections that they get to do with these deer hearts, from, again, donated from community members, and way better than the ones that we can get online. or preserved just because of the natural state that they can start to see on the inside. So first person I have, I'll let you introduce yourself and kind of explain what we got.
I'm Brett Nelson. I'm in tax in this class.
The hour doesn't.
Basically, we take the hearts that we get, and then are able to learn from them, and we can see all of the anatomy. TAC SCC is the physiology part, but I would say that having a heart in front of you is way better than looking at like a picture, because like first you can see everything a lot more. So it looks like in real life compared to just a picture. And there's like inside of the heart, there's different valves. And TAC was explaining to us that people you can get a valve replacement, you can like sew it together, but this thing is like it's thinner than paper, and it's hard to represent that with a picture. And when you can like have a whole heart in front of you, and you can like dig your fingers in there, and you can feel that little like paper thin valve, it's a lot cooler to have that or like a picture in front of you.
It was interesting when Brett was dissecting his heart. If you've ever watched the show Dexter before, that's what it looked like every time I turned around, or like a scene out of Jurassic Park, with the amount of blood that was all over his hands and how in depth he was to actually dissecting these parts. Brett, in your point of view, what was the most shocking part of actually dissecting the real hearts that we got donated to us?
I was really surprised. I don't know if you guys can see it very well or not, but on the left side, there's all those little stringy things.
What did I do?
No, I don't think anything.
I hit the bottom button.
Oh, that just hides it, so hit it again. There you
Okay.
There's all those little white
go. The pointers at the
things.
top.
Those are all like different things that like pull a valve closed. And when TAC was explaining, I was so confused on it. I didn't know how it worked at all. Then once I dissected, I could put my finger behind and pull those like your actual heart would. And it was cool for me to just see the valve shrink up and close right as I would pull on those little things. And it was just cool to see.
The chordate tendon.
Yeah, that.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Next thing that we build up the anatomy. The heart's obviously one of the first things that we do. And then we essentially do an art competition with the kids. And I'd like to kind of explain what we did with our heart competition and which one is even yours on that board.
Yeah, so mine is the one right underneath the graph. Basically we got told to draw the heart based off our memory, all the parts of it, all the valves and stuff. So it was a really cool activity to see how well you could memorize it after learning all of those things. Our drawings were about the size of the table, or mine was the size of my hand.
Yeah, so the perspective's hard in a picture, but
Yeah,
imagine
they were
that entire
big.
table in front of you is the size in which they had.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to feel more confident and knowing how to draw an entire heart just off your memory.
And then it turned into a competition, which we then
It
sent
did.
out to all the teachers and all the students.
Yeah. So each hour drew a heart with your table partner, and then all the teachers voted on who's the best for each hour. And yeah, so it was really fun.
There were some that were more, what was the word we used?
I'm not the one that was straight water.
Yeah, a little more, I can't remember the word, but there was some that were not always the best. So you can tell which ones were the art students and non-art students, but they still were able to figure out most of it. And then I'll let our last student kind of talk about it. Again, it kind of collectively builds up, all starts with those hearts that we get donated. The last phase of one of our coolest experiences, and I'll let her explain what we got to do here.
So TAC told us a month before he would be watching a heart surgery, and he didn't give us the specifics on it until maybe a week later, and then he said it was the 2 replacement valves, which was the mitral valve and the aortic valve. And what they talked us through was how to get to the chest, or they basically had to open up the chest, and they had to go back earlier on when she was younger, and she already had 3 different surgeries at that point.
It was her second. So this is a live open heart surgery. So the students, after we learn all the anatomy, do the dissections, they get a chance to talk with all the surgeons and the medical people while they're opening this person up. And for the first time in my 15 years, and it was very lucky for them to get to experience, the woman had already had open heart surgery before. So they actually had to remove her prior metal sutures and then cut through the sternum to open it up. And then yeah, go ahead with the careers and stuff we got to.
We got close to like all of the people they talked about, the circulating nurses, the cardiothoracic surgeon, he talked quite a bit, and the anesthesiologist, he like told us that it depends on like your height and your weight for how much doser you get, or like when you're done with surgery, and then like when some people come out of surgery, some people have like different reactions, like some are super drowsy, some are super like awake and like cognizant. And then we talked about like what their jobs are in the ER. And it was just a super cool experience to watch, and like for how special it was. It was very interesting. It was a good moment to watch.
And then unfortunately with that patient we had issue, we did not get to see them close her out because we only got to watch for like 2 hours worth. And since they were replacing the aortic valve and mitral valve, and I think it was 2 cardiac surgeons there at one time, wasn't there? Because of how like complex her setup was and all that she had to go through. Last thing, takeaways from the whole thing. I know some of we talked about like how the class has affected your thoughts and stuff. Brady, we talked the other day on how you enjoyed some of this stuff and for the future.
Yeah, like growing up, I was like starting high school, I always wanted to be a biochemical engineer. And then I take tax class, and he opens me up to new careers. And I see like I really like some of those, and so I guess my biggest takeaway would be like that now I'm like more aware of the different jobs that I might be interested in.
Thinking you want to be a heart surgeon, Brett?
Well, I was thinking more of like the people that don't necessarily touch them.
But we had that talk today about like the engineering aspects. I've had Brett like physical science class before, and he mentioned he loves the anatomy, but also loves like the engineering side. And I said, well, there's jobs that you can bring both together, and they create prosthetics. You can create braces for us athletes that hurt ourselves multiple times. And so we talked about those types of things.
My biggest takeaway is probably like being able to see all of it like more visually and like through videos and stuff, and Tack Noise does like a really great job of like going through it all, but then also giving us really good visuals and like hands-on experiences, which is really nice.
Medical career too.
Oh yes.
Nursing.
Mhm.
There you go.
My biggest takeaway from this is just like he explains it so well that it's not like there's no part missing from it. It's just that he can go through it and I can understand it. And if I ask a question, he can answer it right away instead of me like being like, oh, is this like how this works? But what if it affects this? Or like it just seems really interesting to me. Like he like makes it understandable to them.
I think when I first brought it up to you, I was about coming and talking tonight. I never seen her smile and jump so much ever. It was like, what are we gonna do? We going to talk about the heart. But any questions from you guys again on the heart donations, the process, how we use them, or
Did anybody get queasy during the video? Or is it just me seeing the picture?
remember my rule about when you feel lightheaded?
Lay on the floor?
Look away and go sit on the floor because you're going there anyway. So just go right to the ground because you're following that direction no matter what.
So I've had 2 open heart surgeries, and they replaced my aortic valve twice. And they now have technology called the TAVR, which will go through the leg and goes up. And actually my cardiologist does the TAVR, and you just have to have my aortic valve was calcified, so it didn't have a nice round. Well, the second time they did it, it's perfect round wire because they had an artificial one in there, but it was all infected. But they could go in and stick that in and you'd be out the next day.
I'm pretty sure the lady we watched, she had the 2 open heart surgeries. She also had
Yeah, she had an aortic. Her second aortic valve was put in that way.
Yeah.
And they actually had to cut and remove that one.
Yeah.
And then so when we talk about like how intricate they sew those things, it's like you're not just a cardiac surgeon, you're a master seamstress.
Yeah.
Well, I also talked about how some surgeons use like grapes, they peel the skin off and then
Wow.
they like put it back together.
The one surgeon one year said how her roommate in college was a smoker. So she would break all of her cigarettes in half and then stitch them back together for her. And that's how she practiced sewing, or like, yeah, sewing the skin back on a grape.
So the aortic valve is not actually a muscle. It worked from the blood pressure going out and sucking back. And Leonardo da Vinci actually discovered that, 1,200 years ago. But then his research was lost for 500 years before modern science figured it out again. It's
Do you remember
pretty
we
great
talked
stuff.
about what causes your heart sounds?
That's your. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the valve opening and closing, which creates that lump dub noise, is the vibrations.
And
of the
mine
valve
isn't
opening.
closed completely, so it's called a heart murmur. It'll swish. There's a little swish.
Valentine's Day is hard.
Yeah, we said we did work for them. And they have been delivered to different people. So,
Yeah, good work, guys. It's really awesome.
and while I have the board, Winona State's better than Midget Beavers.
I was gonna ask you how many kids you had interviewed to bring those three to talk you up that much.
No, these were like, these are three, like, when we talk about like biology, we talk about net phys, we talk about like those types of things. It's just the spark that I see, like, I think you asked me, like, why me? It's the spark I see in their eyes. It's the excitement that they see with what we do. And it's the fact that, again, for years, we've been getting 60, like more than I can even dissect.
That's
And
great.
I've always wanted to show the community, because they always just drop them off. They don't know what happens to them.
Yep.
They just disappear. Someone like, I don't get to eat it. Okay, well, this is what they're actually used for. But yes, coming from a Bemidji Beaver, I expect. Other than that, I think we're good. Thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank you. You should wrestle.
You're lucky I didn't play the same time.
I know. It'd be fun. You should think about it.
I wish I could make Friday mornings more often. I could make it once the other day. And
Last week?
the Friday.
Yeah.
When the Turtles were the true winners of that.
We're there almost every week.
Yeah, I live in Grove also. So great job.
Derek lets you shower at his house.
So, well, I gotta bring my kids.
Oh,
That's the hard part. Otherwise, I'd come post you.
We'll see. Hey, there's not enough room back here for us three. Please, really, please, do a sandwich. No. She's a bulker. You can't fluster her. Yeah. All right, Tim. Go ahead. You got a lot to follow there. It's your referendum update.
Get the presentation. Oh, yeah, we have referendum update.
So yeah, not a lot to report. This is kind of that lull where they're just doing lots of sheet rocking and they're actually doing a lot of painting of the ceilings, certain bathrooms. So that, yeah, the CTE additions are going really well, but they're gonna be done in May. They're right on schedule to be able to do some punch list things throughout the summer. We started talking our meeting today about plans for moving stuff. There's a lot of stuff that's gonna have to be moved from the current CT space to the new ones. And so we're gonna be meeting next week on that. Also at the middle school, there's quite a bit of HVAC stuff that they gotta get into classrooms. So that's gonna have to be moved. So the crunch time really will be this summer with the inside work in the existing facility, because that's gotta get done or then be open when school starts. So yeah, we have to report on schedule and continue to be under budget and be able to get some additional needs. For instance, one of them is replacing all the equipment that was in the auditorium that was manufactured personal equipment. The budget, the budget scope has allowed us to do that, and that's just one of a number of things I can share later if you wish. But yeah, it's all good. Good news. Any question? Oh, the sign you might notice if you drive back around by the football field, ticket gate finally was installed yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, yeah.
Finished.
Yeah, but that was kind of, backside was done.
Couple days before.
Yeah, that's a long story. It's, but
The
there
Market
was,
Johnson keeps on them and
Yeah,
they're
it's not
just
Market
so,
Johnson.
they're a sub, but, Market Johnson's awesome. We
Yeah.
couldn't have we hit the jackpot when we got those guys.
no doubt.
So, super happy with
Any
them.
questions on the referendum?
The joint PAC BOC meeting at CISA 11 and Turtle Lake. Thursday, April 4th, dinner is at 6:30, presentations at 7 by Jim Morgan. And he was financial. Was Jim Morgan, a financial.
Yep, demographics.
Yeah.
Demographic stuff. It should be interesting, so.
So we've got Dave that's going and I am and Tim
I'll go.
and Jeff.
Actually,
Perfect.
there you go.
Okay.
I'm up, I think I'm out.
Okay. When do we need to know, Kelly?
The deadline is March 27th to register, so if you can let me know by the next board meeting.
Oh, the next, well, I thought it had to be this one. I was like, yeah, then I'm out.
Yeah, if you let me know by the next one, then we could
Okay.
I'll go.
still get you registered. Okay.
Yeah.
There are no scheduled presentations by staff, I guess. Financial reports by Vince.
Okay. So it looks like as of January 31st, 2024, Citizen State Bank checking account is $1,531,104.52. Citizen State Bank money market, $2,601,050.81. Fund 46, we're holding a balance of $56.41. Suicide Prevention Fund, $4,994 or $4,994.95. American Deposit, Fund 39, $164,558.12. Fund 49A, referendum money, $5,920,086.54. Also referendum fund 11, $3,654,589.16. Fund 12, money management, $148,953.44 for a total fund balance of $14,025,393.95. Motion to approve. Since I agree.
Oh, who was it?
Go for it, Dave.
All right, Dave. So Vince made the motion, Dave second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
I know.
All right, so now we'll move on to consideration of consent agenda. And there are no curricular modifications at this time.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Vince made the motion, Jeff second. Any discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Administrative reports by Tim. Student enrollment update.
All right, students in seats this month, 1,595. Free and reduced lunch rate holds pretty steady at 26.3%. I want to point out virtual charter school continues to grow at a great rate. We're at 302 as of this report a week or so ago, as compared to 224 at this time last year. 39 resident virtual full-time students, 137 resident part-time students. So that virtual school is about 470-ish kids right now. And overall, our open enrollment in versus out, again, I don't know if everyone realizes, but it's pretty rare for the a lot of area schools to have the ins exceeds the outs. There's lots that are flipped, and we're way on the plus side of 310 to the positive. So we have 437 out. I'm sorry, 437 in versus 127 out. So it's an amazing number that bodes well for our district, especially obviously, right? It shows we want to be a destination district for people. So the data supports that. Parents are key customers, want to send their kids here. And it also bodes well financially because a big part of our revenue is based on enrollment. So it's a win-win for for us. So good, very positive numbers.
You.
Do we see what New Richmond's doing as a threat at all then, or?
It might.
I mean, we're pretty good
We
at it.
do get a lot of
obviously.
New Richmond
Yeah.
students, so it might impact that a little bit. But you know, that other school is a consortium. I mean, it's 40 some schools, I believe, you know, in virtual. I don't know. I think our best marketing continues to be our reputation, satisfied customers, but we also started the digital marketing campaign last month. Intercounty Publishing, they're the same company that does the yellow papers. They approached us about printing needs. I said, yeah, we're starting to bring back our newsletter. I'm interested in quotes. So we met about that. And she said, by the way, we have these products as well, digital marketing. So we talked a lot about marketing. It's a virtual school. And our geographical, market is the entire state with that. So we started that for $650 per month. It's 35,000 impressions, ads actually. And it's not just random. It's if you search any keywords or anything, looking at anything to do with virtual school, online school, or anything on your phone, your laptop, your tablet, it puts that into the algorithm and says, I'm going to send an ads to that person. So we will see, but I sign for the last month or so 5 a day. It's been higher than normal, and that's part of it. I forward the Duke Randsburg one is a big one. They used to get a lot of kids out of the Milwaukee area. They each year shut down enrollment twice per year and say we're full with our staff, and then they send them right to us. So we've got a great connection there. We have counselors, a lot of area schools that know about us. They don't have online opportunities for kids. They send them to us. So I think it's a mix of everything. But I could continue to talk about the virtual school staff. A job well done is our best marketing. I think it's just tons of word of mouth. We've
Is it
really
like
expanded.
$5,800 per student that enrolls?
Yeah, 8,600.
80. Oh, so
one student pays for your
right.
marketing. Correct. Yeah, I thought that was a no-brainer.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, word of mouth is obviously fantastic, but do we have, I mean, would it be worth our time to engage those counselors at other schools somehow?
We have, but you gotta be careful a little bit. Like, you don't want it to be like,
Coaching.
yeah, that impression.
That's okay.
But things have changed in the educational field, and that is competitive now. I talked at our presentation on Friday. The parents are key customers, the parent satisfaction survey and all that. They choose where the kids go to school, and even the ones that have lived here their whole lives and think, well, they don't have a choice. Of course, they're going to go, yeah, they do have a choice. They could easily open enroll to a lot of neighboring districts. So our employee engagement, our parent satisfaction, our academic scores, our student engagement, all that connectedness plays into, again, being a viable district, a destination district.
Good. Very good. Thank you.
Nice.
All right. So now we move on to core agenda items. We have items A through K that are the second reading.
I got one. Yeah.
Oh, did I miss that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I thought
Put my
should have.
glasses on.
I should have read it when they were in here.
We're gonna get it in the mail.
Yeah.
It's a treat.
So we said thank you to them here, but on record, we'll say on there.
Where you guys going?
Well, you're doing A through K's.
Hi, guys.
I'll come back when you guys get to Z.
This is important stuff right here. Most
Call me when
exciting.
you get to Z.
All right.
But I'll read it anyway, so it's on record also. A thank you to Jill DeRaps, Haley Bunk, Rachel Hansen. Words cannot express our gratitude, excitement, honor that we feel about the SCC Unified Ski Team. Without you, this would not be possible. You have created a legacy that will never be forgotten. Thank you for making everyone feel included and part of a community. We are blessed to have you as part of our staff. And cool to learn that it was the first and only one in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Haley went to
Amazing.
school with Catherine, and I remember when she first started, went out to meet with a student that didn't want to come to school. And Haley, at the kid's home, developed a rapport, and they came to school, just you can see how these kids, they love
Oh, yeah.
these kids. It's awesome.
A lot of extra time and commitment and awesome. Kids loved it. All right, so now key work is done and now we can move on to core agenda. So we have items A through K.
I'll move to approve core agenda items A through K.
Second.
All right, so Lance made the motion, Vince was second. Is there any discussion on them? All right, all in favor?
Right.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Consideration of the first reading, we've got L through B. And that's just, we don't vote on that, but
Undertaking. For that limit, all right.
Just W.
we have W for
Eliminating 1 and 2. Mm-hmm. Make a motion to approve, item W, the core agenda items, readings 300.045 and 300.200.
Second.
Eliminating those from the.
Way to efficiently get there.
all right. So Vince made the motion and Lance second. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Are there any future agenda items?
Just your speeches.
That's all.
I feel like we should have mentioned John Hughes up here somewhere. I don't know, but just like thoughts and prayers type stuff. So we should stick John Hughes for the board. So somebody draft a note to on the board. We'll draft. Obviously, a big part of St. Croix Central. No, it's his supposed work here, so it's.
And he, there's, another, boys basketball game Friday that he's, planning on, if he feels well enough, announcing again, and that's the big t-shirt. T-shirts are in, that happened really fast. Coach Bailey and Brian Johnson were integral in making that happen really fast. Coach Bailey had the connection, got the shirt super cheap, and so the majority of the money is going to go to the Hugh family.
And they're being sold on Friday at that game.
John is reading kids' stories for his grandchildren yet to come.
Recorded.
And his kids, he had worked for Wells Fargo for like 20 years. He had one boss, and they're going to get together and just talk about common experiences over 20 years. And John said, and I was really flattered, but he said, I was on a school board with Jeff for 15 years. And so we're going to have the two of us sit down and video. We had all kinds of, he's the one that told me I was more interested in the lint on my socks. There was an agenda. And I said, well, because we're not talking about the right damn things. And I said, well, then let's change it. And that's when all this strategic planning started. So it's good stuff. So.
Are they selling?
Sure, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're selling in period. I mean, they've already started, but yeah, we have a majority of over 500 ordered. Cool. And Brian's pretty sure they're gonna run out, but okay,
So-
people will, there's lots of stickers and stuff that
John
the
was-
printer donated, with, his likeness. Is a pretty cool design.
So John was here 5 weeks when he was invited to join the church council. And then he says, then this guy, Jeff Redmond, called me about 5 months into their residency and said, John, if you really want to make some impact, you should join the school board. And he didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know him except by reputation. And that's when he stood to be on the board. So, great contributor to the community.
He's always, served the community.
You didn't get it to the girls' game
Mhm.
the other night.
Yeah.
So that was cool.
Something, he just had his first treatment that day or something too, didn't he? One of those games he had noticed he had.
I think it's that day or the day.
Or no, it's the Baldwin game.
The boys.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah,
So yeah,
good idea.
we'll draft, a message from the board and with Kelly, she'll get it out to everybody and maybe we do it, what do you think about a Google Doc maybe, and you each say a little something
Yeah, that
if you
could be,
want, or
that'd be good.
more personal? Yeah, okay.
Okay, so moving on to important upcoming dates, March 20th is the school board meeting at 7. April 4th is the meeting up at CISA in Turtle Lake at 6:30. April 17th is our school board meeting at 7. And then April 28th is the board development meeting at 5 PM here at the office. I'll put that in your calendar.
I won't be here the 17th. I'll be at the coaching summit in Canada.
Okay,
You know, the election, Erica?
it is April 2nd, I believe. Okay. Am I right on that?
Yeah.
Okay, April 2nd.
Usually that's the discussion on the way up to season.
Okay. All right, so we can move on to the closed session. We just need a motion.
Make a motion to go into closed session pursuant to state statute 19.851C. Considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction to exercise responsibility. Or exercises.
We gotta go, there's one more. We got a quarterly superintendent goals review in closed session.
Yeah.
Right.
All
The
right.
only thing I've been excited for all week.
We should have one of those every
You need to
meeting.
get
then.
life.
I'll second that.
Come for the
Okay.
meeting, stay.
So Vince made the motion, Lance second, roll call.
I
Alright.
did it right this time. It's the first time.
All right.
Derek.
Yeah. I've done it 4 times.
7.